Hello, I'm Steph from My Driver Classic, and today I'm back at the Morris Minor National Rally, and I think, gosh, it must be, what, my 13th, 14th? I've been coming for years. But this year, 2023, is rather special because this year marks 75 years of the Morris Minor. So in today's video, I'm going to show you some of the cars, but most importantly, we're going to hear from some of the visitors here because these cars are all very well and good, but what motivates someone to own a Morris Minor in 2023? Because some of these cars, well, they're slow, some of them are hard to get bits for on some of the older ones, and when you hold it up against something modern on a forecourt, it's a completely different driving experience. So let's go for a walk, let's see what we've got and meet some of the people here.
Hi, I'm Bob and this is Chris. We've owned a Morris Traveller for about 26 years. I've just become a member of the 26-year member of the Morris Minor Club with my little badge there. It's a blue smoke grey with ash timber around it. 1098cc engine, and originally it came from Birmingham. I've got the original logbook with it as well, and we use it just for days out. You know, just days out. You know, it's not our everyday car. And we used to have a dog. Unfortunately, we lost their dog, but she used to come in the back, and she used to love it. She used to lie there and sit out and look out through the window, and she loved her days out in the car.
Hi, I'm Becca. I've owned Lionel for 11 years this August. My dad bought him for me when I was 12. He's always had classic cars and Morris Minors, so he brought me up around them and in the classic car world. So when I learned how to drive, it was kind of just assumed that I would drive a Morris Minor. So I ideally drove Lionel for 5 years, and I just find classic car ownership makes you very aware of the road and a better driver, in my opinion. So we have come over from Northern Ireland. I live in County Antrim, so just north of Belfast, and it's an 8-hour ferry, a very expensive one. So we are kind of spending maybe like nearly a week here just to make it worth our while.
Hello, my name's Brian Hawley, and I have a Morris Minor Traveller 1967. She's a 1275 with a stage 2 head, half race cam, HIF 44 carb and long centre branch manifold. A few other mods as well, disc brakes, vertical shocks and a few other bits and pieces. I also have an MOT, which I was persuaded to get by Steph. And I'm now an MOT evangelist, and I'm trying to persuade all my friends to get MOTs because it is so easy to miss something. And if you go to an MOT station, you get not only a second pair of eyes, but you get the benefit of a lot of special equipment. Things like brake balance, precise headlight alignment, and that sort of thing. So it's something I would thoroughly recommend. Now, yesterday, on our way to the MMOC Nationals, we brought the whole of Birmingham to a complete standstill. Driving through the rush hour down a little narrow road with double red lines on either side, the car suddenly cut out and I couldn't get it started. So I said to my wife, Sandy, would you please get out and push? And she obviously said, well, I can't push the car. And I said, well, you don't need to. Just get out and stand there, put your hands on the back, and people will arrive. So she did, and all these strong lads started jumping out of nearby cars and pushed it down the hill. Anyway, it turned out it was just a vapor lock, so all was well, and she's running like a Swiss watch now, as she always did.
Hi there, my name is Lizzie, and this is Jack, my Morris Minor. We've had him for 7 years. We've come today to Chateau Impney and the 75th Morris Minor Rally. And yeah, we've only driven 105 miles today because we live in Reading, and we'll be driving at the end of the week right up to Scotland. We take Jack everywhere with us. We've been over to Ireland, up to Scotland, regularly go up to Scotland each year. And it's great to have a car that you can drive and just enjoy, and who's part of your life.
Hi, I'm Lance. I'm from Tewkesbury. I've recently rejoined the Morris Minor Owners Club. Used to be a member back in the 90s, used to go on the MOT trips south of France, etc. It's taken me 30 years to get over them, and now I've decided to buy another Morris. This is 1959, and thoroughly enjoying it. I bought a Morris Minor because obviously in my youth I grew up with them, and having owned several over the years, after about a 20 or 30 year gap, I just wanted to get back into it and experience them again.
Okay, well, my name's Jim. I live in the Netherlands. We brought the car from the Netherlands today. We're English, as you can hear, but we bought the car. It's my wife's car. She bought it in 1985. In that time, it's been all over the world. It's been to America for 9 years. It was then in Austria for 3 years. It's been in Holland for 20 years, and it's always driven. She takes it to the shops whenever she goes locally to the shops. It doesn't go out in the salty roads in the winter. Why do we have a Morris Minor? Well, she has it because it's her love since 1985. There's no way that she'll get rid of it. She just likes to drive it. It's her hobby. That's why we've driven it here from Holland today. So it's really her hobby, her interest.
We've chatted to a few owners, but I know that one of the key questions that people are going to ask is how many Morris Minors are there? Well, I did a bit of sleuthing to find this out, and I read online that 700 Morris Minors from around Europe were booked in to come to this show. But bear in mind, that wasn't all that came, because people turned up on spec and they said, oh, I've heard about it late, and they turned up. It was such a success this year that even the camping sold out, and I don't think it's ever sold out in living memory. This was a ginormous show with hundreds of Morris Minors, and it was incredible because it wasn't just the fact that there were hundreds of Morris Minors here which made it so special. It was the fact that people flew in from around the world. We had Andrew Dyer, who flew in from New Zealand. Well, he's over here for a little bit. We had John, who came in from New York. I think there was a chap called Bruce who also flew in from, I think, near Las Vegas or somewhere like that. It was incredible. Now, I know that you're going to be looking at all these cars and you're going to be saying to me, Steph, they all look pretty standard. Was there anything out of the ordinary there? Well, let me show you some of the really cool cars that came from the Modified Club. Because this is the thing, there are an awful lot of people that don't just stop at what Alec Isagonis and his team created. They've taken the Morris Minor and they've done something completely different with it. Now, this is a bit of a funny one because I know some people believe that Morris Minors should be kept as standard, but there are so many, as you can see on this field, that look as they were, or pretty much as they were, and so it's exciting to have a certain area of the field, and it's great to have a club which not only encourage but gives space to these cars which look out of the ordinary. Now, you know, many of them are on standard number plates, but you'll see as we flip round that there is one car sitting on a Q plate. The reason it's sitting on a Q plate is because it's actually running on micro running gear. So there's lots of really interesting cars here. I could have spent hours with the Modified group, and this is really why, if this show takes your fancy, make sure you come down yourself and see all these cars in the flesh, because there's only so much that I can give you in this video, and hopefully this will get a few of you coming to next year's show.
My name's Neil. This is the Explorer. It was offered to the club last year. I bought it, and I've replaced the chassis rails, tyre plates, engine bracketry, brakes, basically all the mechanicals. And this is his first outing since last year, and we're planning to do further trips into France and wherever we end up. The theme on the car, the Explorer, and I spoke with the dear ambassador of our club, Mr. Mike, and gave him a very vague brief, and he came up with a design, and I think it's excellent.
Morning, my name is Thomas Skipper. I'm from Denmark, in Silkeborg, and I've come in the Domi van, the Danish-made van. It's a 1958. We don't know the exact history, but what we maybe know is that they were made about 100, and only 2 are left now. This is one of them. This is a 58. This was a van we know from 58 and until about 71. And in 71, what we can see, it was converted into a camper van. That's why it has this 3 chromed air vents in the side. There's a tent. I can show you a picture of it also. I have it in the car also, so it's a camper van now. The other one is a 54. It's been restored now. It's at the painter's shop, and it's a 54, and it will be restored as an original van. We came all the way from Denmark together with my friends in the Trafalgar Blue over there, and we used 3 days to come here. We took a trip from Denmark. We went almost 1,300 kilometers from Denmark all the way to Germany, stayed over, took a trip all the way in the north of Holland and to Amsterdam and to Hoek van Holland, and there we met our friends in Norway, Fort Cougar, and we took the ferry to Harwich, and from Harwich we made a trip out of it into Ipswich and Cambridge, went on the canals, and then we came here. So.
Hi, my name's Ian, and this is Purdy, my Morris Traveller, 1969. She was bought brand new by my aunt from Morris Garages in Reading, and she had it for 11 years, and at the time, she decided to sell at the time when I was looking to learn to drive, and so I bought the car off of her in 1980. For, I think it was £800 at the time, which was quite a lot of money considering she'd only paid just about £1,000 for it 11 years earlier. But hey, I ended up paying less for that over time. So I learned to drive in it, took my test in it, and she was my everyday car for about 4 or 5 years, taking me here, there and everywhere. And I joined the MMOC, and at the time, obviously, they didn't have a young people section as such, but I wasn't the only young person there with a Morris Minor. And my first Minors on Tour was to Interlaken in 1985. And I couldn't get anybody to go with me, so eventually Mum decided to come with me. And she said, I don't know if I want to go in such an old banger with an inexperienced driver. But hey, we survived it. And then she's never been off of the road in all of the years that I've owned her. So it's 43 years now that I've owned her. She's never been off of the road, but as you can see, has had lots of work done to her over the years. So she's my pride and joy. I don't often come to shows because there are lots of Morris Minors at shows, but what I do enjoy is using her to do my kind of local runarounds when the weather's nice, and it makes people smile when they see her driving along. So yeah, so she's great, and she's not going anywhere. Well, not from me anyway, not until I go off in a box.
Hello, I'm Stephen Gordon. This is my 1954 Morris Minor Series 2. I've come all the way from Belfast in sunny Northern Ireland, and I'm on display here at the 75th anniversary rally. This car was built in between the 3rd and the 4th of June 1954, and it was shipped to W.H. Alexander in Belfast, which was our main dealer. It was used locally until 1966, when a local unionist councillor bought it and ended up crashing it, and it was put in a barn and left until 2011 when I got hold of it. So barn find, it was completely stripped and restored by myself and other friends from the Northern Ireland branch, and we've tried to retain it as originally as possible. So it has a 803 engine still. It had a gold seal factory replacement engine in '61. Which is still in it, which we rebuilt. It's got its original paperwork. We put together a toolkit for it. The interior was completely taken apart, hand re-stitched, new stitching put in, and it's used and abused all the time.
We've had a chat with some really great owners and we've had some really cool stories, but I think we're about to add a story to our repertoire because we are about to take the charity car Miranda Minor out on an epic adventure, and it's going to be an adventure like you've probably never attempted because Kirsty is going to be blindfolded and she's going to drive, but how's she going to know where she's going? Moira is going to be navigating. So Kirsty, how are you feeling about this?
Nervous, but we'll do it. Girl power. Girl power. We'll get there, won't we? Yeah. Might take us a little while, but we'll get there. Yeah, we've got half an hour. Yeah.
And then I thought I might sign up, seeing how successful this is, and if we've got a car, and I'm going to give it a spin round, and I'll tell you what it's like. Right, come on, let's get that blindfold on you, Kirsty. We're off. Cheers. I have so much respect for Kirsty because, giant hats off to her, she not only jumped in blindfolded, but she jumped into a car that she didn't even know because she had never driven Miranda the charity car before. And she was navigated by Moira, my friend, and it all became, well, we all got quickly unstuck very rapidly and it just turned into absolute chaos. I think my favourite bit was the bit you're about to see on freeze frame, which is where Kirsty's directed round and Morris says go forward, and she nearly goes through the wire and takes this poor man out of his chair. But let's see if we can do any better. Becca, how are you feeling?
Nervous.
I've actually wrote Becca in as a navigator because after I saw Moira navigating, I thought my fiercely competitive side is going to put my friendship stuff aside, and I thought I just need to win. And I trust Becca implicitly because she's quite fearless as well. So we're going to have a go, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to smash it.
Right, let's go.
Right, straight. Straight. Whoa, right a bit. Right.
Yeah.
Right a bit. Keep going. Straight. Straight. Keep going. Foot down. Turn your weight to the right a wee bit. A bit more. Stop. Wait.
Yeah.
Keep going straight.
You said stop.
Slow down. Right. Left. 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 Right. Yep. Straight.
Is that straight?
Yep. Right. Gradual turn.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Sharp, sharp, sharp.
Left or right?
Left. Straight. Straight. Right. Go. Straight. Right a wee bit. Right, right. No, you're going to hit it. Right, reverse. Right, stop.
Yeah. Now
so
where?
Keep going straight.
Am I straight?
Yeah. Right a wee bit. Right, that's you now.
Okay. Good God, this is terrifying.
Right. Turn right. Turn, no, left, sorry. Right, sharp left.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep going, keep going, keep
Yeah.
going. Right, 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 right. Stop.
Yeah.
Forward a bit more.
Well, we're not going to hit those blinking
Stop.
tones. Stop.
Right, so into reverse.
Into reverse.
Sharp left.
Sharp left.
To get my lefts and right.
Sharp
Right,
left.
stop.
Stop.
Forward and turn your weight to the right.
Forward and turn the wheel to the right.
Keep going.
Keeping going.
Stop.
Stop.
Sharp right. No, sorry, the other right.
So you mean the English right, yeah? The left?
Oh, wait,
is what we call it.
we're in the complete.
Are we in
Stop.
Yeah.
We're in the wrong bit.
Where do we need to be? I have stopped! Where do we need
Right,
to be?
go forward. Go forward.
Okay.
And go to the right. Go to the right.
Yeah, right, right, right.
Stop.
Yeah, we stopped.
Reverse again.
Do you want me to turn the wheel, Bab?
Yes, go.
Left hand down?
Yeah.
Come on.
Bit more. Right. Yeah. Sharp, stop.
Yeah. Now where?
We need to go forward again.
And right hand down, yeah?
Right, stop there.
Yeah.
Right, so you're going to do sharp right.
Sharp right. Full lock on.
Reverse.
And reverse. How are we doing?
Stop there, we need to straighten up.
Stop.
Right,
and
so
are we
into
straight?
First. Yep, into front. And no, stop, into first.
Into first. And now where do we go?
Forward. And turn the weight to the right.
Right, this is where I have to confess something. I thought this was going to be a lot easier than it was. I had the confidence to go forwards, but I just don't think that our two brains work together to navigate us around. And you can probably see it looks like absolute chaos from the outside. And you've had a bit of vision inside as well and seen what it was like firsthand on the back seat. So you can see that the whole thing was absolute chaos. The weirdest thing for me was, and I hope you've never driven blindfolded and found this out firsthand, is when you are in the driver's seat and you're blindfolded, sometimes it feels like you're moving forward even when you're not. So Becca kept having to say to me, go forward, go forward. I was like, am I not? And she said, no, you're not going forward at all. So yeah, very weird. We've come to the bit of the rally where I tend to learn the most and I get very excited. And we are looking at the Series MM cars, the very early cars, or as my friend Joe likes to call them old ones, which tends to be really the foray of the hardened enthusiasts, because remember, these are the cars that are a little bit slower. They've got that side valve engine in, which you might also see in a Morris 8, and they're really for the slower pace of life. But do you know what? There might only be a few examples. Well, in my opinion, there's quite a lot actually, but it might seem quite a small selection compared to the rest of the rally field, but there's hundreds of cars. But there's some incredible stories here, including one car that's been on the Motability scheme, or what was the Ministry of Health scheme, and one car which is being seen on this rally field for the first time in public since 1968 when it was taken off the road. Now let's meet two owners and hear their stories.
Hello, my name's Richard, and been in a few test videos now, usually with Morris Minors in them. They are my thing, my passion. Being the 75th rally, I wanted to take this car to be here. I've had this car since 2014. To sum it up, it's a very, very original survivor. This is its first sort of public outing, if you like, ever, as far as I know. It's been sort of tucked away in various people's garages and barns over the years, and it's a very, very original car. It's one of the oldest examples really left, so it displays all the earliest features, and it's done 26,000 miles. It's a very original car. Went off the road in 1968, and I wanted to bring it here, so I had 2 months of flurry just assembling everything I'd taken off it, trailered it up. But there will be a main video coming on this car at some point, and we're going to do a proper kind of talk through, walk around, so you will see it again. And yeah, no, but I didn't want to miss out on 75th, so here it is.
Hi, I'm Phillip Kearney. I'm come down from Scotland this weekend. Brought our 1949 lowlight all the way from the south of Scotland for the show. 1949 car, but quite rare in that it's essentially a precursor to the Motability scheme that you get now. So this car was issued by the Ministry of Health by a kind of obscure department called the Department for Limbless Veterans. So it was given to a Second World War veteran in 1949. Came through Stuart and Arden as far as we know. Largely standard. The only sort of detailed, kind of specific detail to this is the adapted seat runners. So instead of the usual Morris where the seats tip up and down, these are on actually very good high quality runners, so the car could, the seat slides back and forward, so obviously somebody with a disability could get in and out fairly easy. Interestingly, been in the same ownership effectively since new, was given to the gentleman, the husband, who was obviously a Second World War veteran. Ownership transferred to his wife sometime in the mid-1960s, so he had the car about 15 years. And she continued to use the car as her only ever car up until about 2018, 2019, when she relinquished driving at that point. And from then, it was in Southend all its life. It worked its way north. To us, we picked it up in the northeast of England about 18 months ago, so it's now in Scotland. Still pretty much original as it was. It's not been restored. Just, yeah, running repairs is all it's ever had. A few minor dings that when the old lady was driving it. Other than that, pretty much as it was.
I feel a bit Morris Minored out now, which means that it's time to go and have a look and see what else we've got. Because the great thing about this rally, and something that I definitely think we need to do again as a club, is we've invited other clubs within that Morris and BMC umbrella. So some exciting cars, and I'm going to show you one of my favourites. So let's go that way. One of the conversations that we had over dinner, whilst we were all chatting around the campfire at night, was where do we see the world of Morris Minors going? And it's quite a pertinent question to ask ourselves as we approach the 100-year mark, because that's really the next big one that we're going to celebrate in 25 years' time. And I think for me, one of the big things that we need to do is we need to work more closely with the other clubs. And I think this runs across all variants of all different cars. We all need to be working closer together, and it was really great to see so many different registers turn out. We had the Morris register, the Wolseley register, the 680 and the MO club all coming down, amongst other clubs as well, which I'm going to show you as we roll around. And as you can see, some of the cars that they brought out were truly fantastic. Cars that I'd never seen elsewhere before. There were some really great things. I really took to the 680s. I've always loved the Morris Oxfords, so biased, I was incredibly excited to see those here as well. And there was even a car that I wasn't expecting to see on this stand, and I didn't know that the club would incorporate, so if you've got one it might be worth knowing about, was the Hindustan Ambassador. So there you go, you can probably see it there. I wasn't expecting to see that here today. We also had the 1800s, they were out, and I talked about this in videos before, and if you didn't know it already, the 1800 was Alicus Agonis's favourite car. He felt that was his best creation that he ever made. So having the Land Crab Owners Club here was quite a big scoop as well, and I know that one of their cars actually won an award, so very well done to the club. And then you also had the Morris commercials out, which was a really great thing to see. Now, there weren't too many of these, but they're quite a rarity because, of course, they were a workhorse and they were put to their uses. Many of them didn't even survive the first 10 years, let alone some of these that are coming up to 100. But what are the stories behind some of these cars? Well, I thought I would catch up with some of the owners.
Hello, my name's Mary Roberts, and this is my 1939 Morris commercial ambulance. As far as we know, it's the only one left. There were about 500 of them made. Most of them, it appears, were lost at Dunkirk in 1939. They went over with the British Expeditionary Force. Why this one survived, we don't know. We can't find its military history yet. I fell in love with a very similar ambulance called an Austin K2, and they had exactly the same rear bodies, but they were just on a different chassis. And the lady said, oh, you won't find one, there's only about 30 of them in this country, they don't come up for sale. And I did that dreadful thing of going onto the internet and Googling World War II ambulance. This one came up for sale. And I remember thinking, it's not an Austin, but it's rather nice. So I went to look at it, and that's when I realised that there weren't 30 of these, there was just the one. And this is it. As far as we know, this is the only survivor in this format. So I've had it for about 2 years. It's quite challenging to drive. No power steering, of course, and what they call a crash gearbox, which was new to me, so I'm still learning. I take it fairly local. I've done about 35-40 miles to get here in it today, and that was quite challenging around the Worcester Ring Road at sort of going home traffic time. But we got here. We can only do 25 miles an hour, and we do about 8 to the gallon. It's got a 6-cylinder Morris commercial engine, petrol, and I just want lots of people to see her and fall in love with her. And she's got her own Facebook page called Amber the Ambulance, the Canvas Queen, because the body is all canvas, it's not metal at all. So say hello to Amber.
Hello, I'm Claire Brooks and this is Mush. And we've got little Stu, our mini clubman, Woody, which is quite unusual, and we've come to the Morris Minor Show today in this because unfortunately Bob, who was coming today, decided that his brakes were not going to be good enough for us to travel so far. We actually have got 4 Morris Minors, and clearly only little Stu wanted to come out today.
We have 4 Morris Minors because my wife is addicted to buying cars. Not just Morris Minors, any cars. We have far too many, and we just need some of them to work.
There's never enough. You can never have enough cars. If you like classic cars, you like classic cars. Some people like handbags, don't they, Steph?
Hey Steph, my name is Rob. This is my wife Kathy. We are big Morris fans. We've got here our Morris Oxford Series MO, which I bought in 2017. She's gone through a complete bare metal body restoration and engine restoration, professionally done. Her name is Molly, capital M, capital O, double L-I-E. It's deliberate, and she's the love of our lives. Why a Morris? Well, my granddad, on my mum's side, had a bull-nosed Morris when it was new, and my mum used to ride in the dicky seat. So Morrises have always been a favourite with our family. My dad had them, I've had them, and now I'm going back in time to a glamorous era, just the positive post-war years, with a Morris Oxford Series MO that harks back to gentler days. It really does. We are members of the 680 MO Oxford and Cowley Club. These are the club for these vehicles, with a good spares selection, with a really friendly bunch of people. We are, honestly, you'll meet us. You've got to meet us and say hello with a nicer bunch of people you couldn't wish to meet. It's just happiness all round.
I've seen a lot of these cars before, so people say to me, Steph, why do you keep coming back? And look, it's the fun factor, because whether it's dancing on a dance floor, having a party in a tent, or scratching around for bits and pieces at the auto jumble, or even carrying back 18 litres of oil up a hill, the real bit of the National Rally for me is the people, and I love it. Well, we're ending this video with, ironically, where it began, because this is considered to be the oldest Morris Minor, although some people debate it because I think it has been reshelled. But this is NWL 576, and you can actually see this up close and personal at the British Motor Museum, who've lent it out today for this incredible event, which I hope you've enjoyed just as much as me, because it's a bit of a funny one with car shows, because I don't think it's ever as good watching it back as being here firsthand and seeing things, smelling things and experiencing things. But I hope I've given you a bit of a taste of what the Morris Minor National Rally 2023 has had to offer. I've had a fantastic day. I've seen cars that I've not seen in a long time, cars that I've never seen, and even I, as a Morris Minor anorak, have learned a lot this weekend. So until next Sunday, when I'll catch up with you doing something completely different, take care and drive safely.